Welcome back to the restaurant show. I've got quite the treat for you today. I'm going to learn a thing or two. I have a feeling. We're talking about Spätzle and Wiener Schnitzel. And joining us today is Aaron Miller from Freiburg Gastropub. Thank you for being here.
It's great to be here.
I'm going to learn a lot, and let's dive right in. So we're starting with Spätzle, correct?
Yep.
Tell me what this is.
So Spätzle is a type of German noodle, and we're going to start out by using the Spätzle batter, which is milk, flour, eggs, small amount of nutmeg, and it's like a really thick pancake batter.
It is a thick pancake batter. My favorite part about this process already is that we get to use cool tools.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it as we go. But what is this tool? Do you know
so
what this
is?
called?
Spätzle press,
Okay.
but you can also...
This is a press specifically for this dish.
So yeah, so this one is designed specifically for Spätzle, but you can totally use it for something else. You can use it for potato ricing, or it's a kind of an all-around kitchen tool. You can even we even occasionally will use it for just like juicing citrus and stuff like that. It's really a great press for something like that.
So you kind of swirled it around in there. Is there a rhyme or reason for that?
Okay, so what we're trying to do is as the batter goes into the pot, we want the little noodles to separate out.
Oh, okay, so they don't get smushed together.
Exactly.
I'm making up words here today as well, so but that's great. That looks like a fun process. Okay. Now, Spätzle. This is a German dish, you said. Are there different kinds? Is this a specific kind?
Yeah, so there's sometimes variations in the size and shape. This particular one is one that I learned when I went to Freiburg, the city, not the restaurant, which is in the southwestern portion of Germany.
Okay.
Also, it's the Black Forest region.
Look at that.
And so we're pulling these noodles out.
That doesn't take long.
No, so they're just in there about a minute.
Okay.
And so we're pulling them out just to let them dry out on here.
Interesting, all right.
But there's also, depending on different regions, we'll use either a different tool. Sometimes there's also recipes you'll see where it's just a colander, and so you end up with smaller, sort of almost little, like little dumpling shapes.
Oh,
and there's also something, we have the restaurant called Bubespitzel, which is more like a potato dumpling. Think of it as like a German gnocchi.
You almost have to have a whole lesson of just pronunciation.
Oh, our servers are really good at that.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so that's the Spätzle, and we're gonna let that sort of cool down, dry out a little bit, and we're gonna move on to Wiener Schnitzel while that is doing its thing, okay? So, the Wiener Schnitzel, first of all, we all know this name. We've heard of it, maybe not had it. What exactly is a Wiener Schnitzel?
So Wiener Schnitzel is, so schnitzel itself is going to be, it's just meat that's been pounded out very thinly. Okay. Wiener Schnitzel means Viennese Schnitzel, so it's in the style of Vienna, as in Austria.
Okay, so Schnitzel is the thing, the Wiener part is
kind of a stylistic thing, yeah. So we have different kinds of schnitzel. There's Jager Schnitzel, which would be the same thing, but with mushrooms over the top, like a mushroom sauce. There's one, and I can't pronounce it, but it's translates to Gypsy Schnitzel, which you have like a spicy tomato sauce with mushrooms and peppers and stuff like that.
Awesome.
So Schnitzel is kind of it's a base item, and then there's usually a lot of variations.
I knew I was going to learn something today. I'm ready for my quiz. All right, this is fantastic. Okay, so now you said that this is a pork dish.
Yep.
So what kind of pork are we using? And
so we're going to use a pork loin. So this is a pork loin. This is like same thing you could buy at the store. It's boneless, skinless pork loin.
Okay.
And it starts out. So this portion right here is about probably about a 3 or 4 ounce portion. Okay. And so starts out as a little medallion.
Got it.
And then we pound it out.
Wow. Okay. So it's really nice and tender.
Yep, exactly. And that's kind of the idea behind these dishes. There you can use these maybe
now you're salting?
Yep. So I'm just salting it right now.
Okay.
But you can use some of these not naturally tender dishes or tender food items. They just pound them out. And it's a really quick cooking process.
Gotcha.
And so you can use maybe cheaper cuts of meat that you can find at the store.
I know, and I'm impressed at how much you're doing in a short segment. So that's helpful that they're smaller and shorter. Okay.
Oh, definitely.
I gotcha. And now what are we putting in it?
So
this is what?
Yep. So I just put it in batter. It's sort of the way. This is where we do things a little bit differently. This is sort of a modified tempura batter, and so it's basically cornstarch, flour, cold water, and then we put Dijon mustard in there, and it gives it a little bit of kick and a little extra flavor on the schnitzel.
And real food, I like that part too. It's all ingredients we can pronounce. The names of the final product, maybe not, but the ingredients we can pronounce. And then what is going in there now? So
and then these are panko breadcrumbs. So panko is just it's a style of breadcrumb. It's the best breadcrumb you can buy. It's always perfectly crispy. And so we're just pushing this over the top. I always like to describe it as kind of a kitty litter method. You just kind of dump a bunch on top and then pat it down. And that'll get you a good contact. You won't have those spots where the panko doesn't adhere to the pork.
Wow, so you're perfectly covered. And while you're kind of finishing up here, talk to us a little bit about some things you have going on, because Oktoberfest is coming up.
Exactly. So Oktoberfest, of course, it's the St. Patrick's Day of Germany, and so Oktoberfest is coming up. We're going to have what's called Hammerschlagen, which is it's where we get this big log, and you take turns pounding nails in it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it could be really dangerous, but we think it's going to be a lot of fun.
That always trumps. Fun trumps danger.
Does trump
danger.
Danger.
So we're okay. All right. Wonderful. So that sounds like a fun event, and that's coming up soon.
Yep.
And while you're finishing that as well, oh my gosh. Okay, so we're working on. I always like a good fire to start during the restaurant.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that means it's gonna be a good show.
We like to make a mess. We like excitement. It's all good. But let's talk a little bit about. We're obviously making kind of more lunch, brunch, dinner items right now. But
yeah. This is more of a dinner stuff. We do have a brunch, and so it starts at 10 o'clock on Saturdays and Sundays. And that is, it's a little more sort of American or German twist on like standard American brunch items.
Okay.
And so you'll have sort of a German twist on eggs Benedict, or your like corned beef hash or something like that.
All right.
And so that's that. We have that now.
Okay. So walk us through the next phase here. We got about a minute left.
Yep. So we're gonna get this oil bubbling.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw this down.
Hopefully you can hear that at home. Some of the fun is the sounds that comes along with the cooking, so that's great. Got that going?
Yep, so then we kept our spätzle in a warm place over here.
Is this what you're like in the kitchen?
This
You
is
gotta keep
exactly,
moving.
it's totally
I love it.
chaos. So the spätzle we sort of kept in a warm place over here.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna serve a little pile of that up.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so there it is, final product. It's gorgeous, crispy, golden brown. Aaron Miller from Freiburg Gastropub, thank you so much for sharing these great dishes with us.
My pleasure.
And over on Monroe Street, so make sure you check them out. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be right back with the restaurant show.